Good morning. October 11th, 2012, Thursday.
Okay.
Fifth day of the Parshas, of the first Parsha of our Torah, Bereshis. Today also happens to be, I believe, I hope I'm not off by a day or two, but I think today is my twin grandchildren's birthday.
Mazal tov. Twins.
Yitzchak Yosef
wonderful.
and Fege Leah Bracha, otherwise known as Aiki and Layla. So I dedicate the Shiur today to them, the most delicious kids on the planet. Of course, you know, we're not even talking about it, Ita and Shmuel, you know. Once he appeared, he raised the standards. The threshold is now too high for anyone to reach. Of course, we're not talking about Benny's children. I only met one. How many children do you have, Benny?
I have 4.
You have 4. Oh, so I met your sons, two sons. No, one son?
2, I think.
Two sons.
My daughter you saw.
And I met your daughter, a very sweet
you
young
saw
lady.
Most of them.
Yeah. Well, why shouldn't they be sweet? They have sweet parents. So, of course, automatically, the children are sweet.
Thank you.
I know. And also, Ari closed at the end of August, so that delays things.
Yeah.
Anyway, morning, Liz. Okay, so yesterday I was asking whether we should learn halacha or whether we should learn chumash. So I think I decided that I'm going to try to mix it up, make a little cholent out of it. So here's an interesting thing. 24, yeah, that's coffee. And if you don't want the whole thing, I got you some spare cups and spoons and sugar and whatever. Hazelnut, you know. Yeah.
You get it service.
So in 1920, first of all, I just want to quickly talk about, yesterday we spoke about, I forgot about it, just remind myself. Yesterday we said that on the 6th day, when man was created, careful, yeah. When the 6th day was created, it doesn't say, as it does by almost every other day, that God saw that it was good. Somebody was here yesterday and commented that it does say that it was very good. So the person actually was a little mistaken, and the statement that God said that it was very good referred to after all the days of creation. It says, and God saw everything that he did, and it was very good. When he completed, it was a blanket statement. When he completed creating the world, he saw that what he did was very good. But
I think Yom Shalishi also said double too.
Yom Shalishi was also. You were here yesterday morning?
No, I wasn't.
No, so I spoke about that. That Yom Sheni it doesn't say. Yom Shalishi it says twice, and Yom Shishi, the 6th day, the most important day as far as creation goes, it doesn't say that when he made man that it's good.
Yom
Which one did he say was very good? Twice? I mean, where he said it was...
Twice, it was on Tuesday. Okay.
That's why we do almost of our movement on Tuesday.
Right,
Right.
and everything.
That's good
Yeah.
information.
Yep. Good morning, thank you.
So, actually, the 2 luckiest days in our calendar, in our weekly calendar, is Tuesdays and Fridays, and that's why I'm happy that Ari's moving in on a Friday. It's a lucky day. It's Erev Shabbos. You know, Shabbos would be the luckiest day to move in, but you can't do it on Shabbos, so you have to do it on Friday. So the reason it doesn't say, the obvious reason, the universally accepted reason why it doesn't say, anybody want to venture why it doesn't say by man that it was good? In fact, in a certain way, it says that no good. When God refers to man, and he says that what I did was no good. But I'm being a little...
Just by leaving it out, he's saying that it was not good.
No, he actually uses the word, lo tov. It's not good. So the answer is, because we're short of time, and I don't really want to dwell on this that much, is that man is incomplete without what?
Wife.
Pizza. No, without a wife. Right. Wife. And God says, Lo tov hayosodam. It's not good that I made man alone, so now I will make him a spouse.
Ezer kenegdo.
Ezer kenegdo. And of course, we all know what it means. Ezer kenegdo, I will make him a complementary, a helpmate, and then it says kenegdo. Kenegdo means against him.
Really?
So is this person with you, or are you with us, or without it, or you know? So
I guess it depends on the day.
So what is it? Is it with you, or is it kenegdo, against you? So unfortunately, we know that in real life that sometimes when the spouse is with you, and sometimes the spouse is against you, and there's nothing like having a great marriage. There's nothing worse than to have a bad marriage, and the Gemara says that anyway, I don't want to dwell on this because we'll only think positive, and so that's why it doesn't say when he created man that it was good. The other reason, which is along the same lines, is that man is not good. Man by itself, let's assume man alone would have been good. Let's say man and woman alone is good. It is not the function of God making them. The function of God making the sun was to give us warmth and light. So it says it was good, because that's it. There's nothing else that's its purpose. It completed, it reached its potential on the day of creation. Every one of the things reached its potential at the day of creation. Of course, the sun continues to shine, so every day it's shine, but it already accomplished, and we already saw its product immediately. Man's potential was not reached when he was born. Man's potential is reached when he does mitzvahs. So we're going to talk about the first mitzvah, which is prurvu, to multiply, to procreate, and so in 1924, I don't know exactly how many years ago, Marilyn Quayle was going to take her bar exam. Unfortunately, or fortunately, whatever the case may be, the exam was given on her due date. You guys probably don't remember because you're all like so much younger than I am, but at the time it was a problem for her. So what did she do? Like most women do when it's inconvenient for them to have a baby on a certain day. What do they do?
C-section.
Excuse me?
C-section or induced labor.
Or they induce labor. So the question is whether you're allowed to do that. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that halakha. Whether you're allowed to induce labor. So what do you think? Anybody have any opinion on this?
If he has a sakra the first.
By the way, when I ask you guys if you have any opinion, there's only one reason why I ask it. Can anybody guess that reason?
Because
you're awake?
No, to give me a chance to drink coffee. That's the reason. Okay, so anybody have any opinion on this?
I would assume maybe it has to do with a health issue.
What do you mean a health issue?
Just convenience, I would say no.
I would say convenience, no.
Okay, why not? Why not?
Because you're messing with
you're overriding,
the
natural.
muzzle of the day that the child was supposed to be here. There's a whole.
I like that.
Yeah, you're overriding the natural element.
So Liz is saying that you're playing around with God's plan that you should have it on that particular day, and that's when your mazel is good. And we certainly believe in mazel. We believe in luck. In fact, the Gemara says, "Hakol tole b'mazel." Everything in our lives is contingent on mazel. Afila, not hakobidei shemaim chutz mir shema. That's something else. We also Benny's referring to an expression. Everything is from God In other words, you don't have any control over anything. Hakol bidei shemayim. Everything is through the hands of God. Chutz, except one thing. One thing is not contingent on God.
Can I say it?
Yeah, sure. Chutz. What?
Sefer Torah dinechad.
No. See, you went back to my staying. They're two different things.
Two different things.
One is everything is from the hands of God.
Chutz mirat shamayim.
Chutz miyirat shamayim, except to fear God. God does not control that. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. By the way, if you notice, I tend to look more this way. It's only because I'm naturally inclined always to look to my right. So, and of course, because it's a much better view, Tad. Much better.
How many opinions are you going to be asking for today?
Right. So everything is morning. So everything is contingent on God except to fear God. The other expression is that hakol toli b'mazel. Everything is contingent. And Ari's hand, thank you. Everything is contingent on mazel, on luck. Afilu sefer Torah shebehechel. Even the Torah that's in the ark. What does that mean? Even the Torah in the ark is contingent on luck, meaning that when in this shul we have maybe 6 or 7 of them in there. I don't know how many are kosher, how many Torahs. But there's certain shuls that have 20 or 30. Good morning. So it's luck. It's just luck. Whichever one you're going to take out and read from. Okay. For example, I remember that when I donated, or my family donated a Torah in a shul, I wanted them to read from that Torah all the time because it's my shul, my Torah. So the fact that they would pull mine out would just be luck. Although there is a halacha or a minhag anyway, that when you donate a Torah to a shul, the first year, every Shabbos you learn only from that Torah. Why would that be? Anybody know? I got to take another drink of coffee.
Just break it in one whole round.
Because to break it in, but also to go through it once and make sure there are no mistakes.
Oh, okay. Obviously.
So you don't want to learn from it for 50 years and then realize that instead of Vayomer Moshe El Hashem, it says Vayomer Tad El Hashem. You know, you want to catch that mistake.
In every way.
I actually therapy over that one.
Yeah, I actually once got an aliyah. This goes back, it was the year my mother passed away, 1990. I got an aliyah, and I noticed the Torah was read from 60 years already. Okay, and I caught a mistake, but it was such an amazing mistake. You know, sometimes you see a mistake, a letter is missing, a letter is crossed out, a whole word is missing. Here there was a whole extra word. Can you imagine? Somebody wrote a complete extra word in the Torah, and it wasn't caught in 60 years.
Wow.
And the reason for it is, I'll tell you off camera why it is. Why it was almost impossible to catch. It's almost like if one time in the Torah it would say Vayomer Hashem Moshe Lemor. Every time it says Vayomer Hashem El Moshe, to Moshe. But if one particular time it would have not said the word El, and this sofer out of habit would have added the El over there, nobody would catch it because it would be a natural that word El should be there. So it was one of those things.
Can you just blot out that extra word?
Excuse me?
Can you just blot out that extra
No.
word? Or you have
Oh, no, yeah, you can't blot it out, but you can scratch it off. You can scratch it off. Actually, I may have rushed and said that a little too quickly, because the spaces between the words are holy also. The blank spaces. You know, we I think I may have said this, that the word Yisrael stands for Yesh Shishim Ribos Oisis LaTorah. There are 600,000 letters in the Torah. We always refer to the number 600,000 when we refer. It's a round number that we refer to how many letters there are in the Torah. The truth of the matter is there are only 300,000. And everybody says 600,000. So the answer is that the spaces between each letters is at least as holy as the letters themselves. So there are 600,000 characters. Yeah. Some characters you can see, some are invisible, but they're holy. And I have a beautiful story from the Munkacher Rebbe, but again, we're
We
going
need a
to...
longer class.
We need a longer
That's what I
class.
told you.
We do. We have to figure that out.
You have to pay.
So let me get to Marilyn Quayle. So she was faced, I don't know if you were here when I walked in, we asked the question whether you're allowed to induce labor, whether that is a Torah concept. And she had her bar exam on her due date, so she induced labor, had her baby 10 days before the bar exam, and then she took the bar exam and passed it on the first shot. She was well, she was rested, and she passed it on the first shot. Unlike her husband, who failed it because I think he misspelled potato. So, 24 years ago, let's see if somebody can figure this out. 24 years ago, in China, thousands of women, tens of thousands of women, and maybe it's exaggerated, but certainly many, many women induced labor so they should have a baby on August 8th. Can anybody figure out why? I got to take a drink of coffee.
Now say Tony's birthday.
Well, the answer is because they wanted to have a baby on 8/8/88.
What was special about that?
Just
numbers.
Just the numbers, 8/8/88.
The Chinese
China, they
are
love
very
numbers.
heavy
Yeah.
into numerology.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
And that is it.
Nothing to do with this. I have a friend. He was my neighbor at one point. Want some coffee? I have a friend. He was my neighbor at one point. He had a baby without any tricks or anything. He had a baby, and the baby's birthday is. You ready for this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. The baby was born at 12:34 and 56 seconds on July 8th, 1990. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0.
Wow.
Today's 10, 11, 12.
Good morning. Good morning. By the way, my son originally, my son was going to be a C-section. We knew that, and the doctor told us, okay, this is the week that you should deliver. So pick a day. So we picked November 11th because we wanted it to be 11/11. So we also, if the doctor said it could have been any day, so it's not like, so that wasn't a question of inducing labor. My wife at that time had to have a C-section, so we picked that day. As it turned out, it did not come out to be that day, and it's a fascinating story, what happened and how things evolved, and I think it's worthwhile actually to repeat it on camera another day, but we're running short of time. Please remind me if we ever have some extra time and I run out of things to say. I'll tell you the story. Chills will go down your back when you hear this story. It still does every time I think about it. Anyway, so getting back to whether you're allowed to induce labor, so it's something that there is actually no clear-cut halacha, like everything else in our religion. We can argue both points, and even in the Gemara, there are many, many, many times. I actually want to make a project to count how many times the Gemara asks the question, and the Gemara says, we don't know the answer, we have to wait for Elijah the prophet to come, who's going to come together with Mashiach, and is going to reveal to us what the correct answer is. So there are many things we don't know the answer, and but it's almost, the majority of opinions is that you cannot do that. And why can't you do it? Because a woman who is about to give birth, the word in Hebrew is called yoledet, a woman who's giving birth and is in the process of delivering a baby, is in a category of a chola mesukan, a very, very sick, dangerous time. We know that certain women die at childbirth, certain babies die at childbirth. And we cannot put a person in that position. We cannot hasten something. For example, God forbid, if somebody's very sick and the doctor says his minutes, his hours are numbered, you are not allowed to touch that person. Now, a lot of people will kiss a loved one knowing that they're about to expire. You're not allowed to touch a person who we know is literally about to draw their last breath, because it may hasten it. You may move the body, and a person has so little energy left, and you can't do anything to hasten trauma or certainly death to somebody. And when you're inducing labor, you're in effect hastening and moving up the time when this woman is going to be in a ultimate critical condition. So how can you put a woman into that position? So they say you cannot induce labor. So why am I talking about this? I'll tell you in a minute why I'm talking about this. A woman who is about to give birth, you're not only allowed to desecrate the Shabbos for her, but you must. So if somebody has to rush their wife to the hospital because they're about to have a baby, and this happened to somebody I know, he was looking around for a Gentile, to drive his wife to the hospital with the baby. And that was the very wrong thing to do. He has to do it himself. It's a mitzvah for him it's a mitzvah to desecrate the Shabbos to save someone's life, to rush your wife to the hospital, or if there's any other danger. If somebody is extremely sick, that their life is in jeopardy, it's a mitzvah to...
That's why Hatzalah has all the religious drivers.
Right. That's right. We have an organization in New York and maybe in other states also that Devon and Lakewood that it's called Hatzalah, meaning to rescue. That they first of all they carry walkie-talkies and cell phones and everything, and they're allowed to, and they only have Jewish people who will go, and if somebody has a problem, they will pick up the. Go ahead, Cantor. I really wanted to finish this.
So finish it.
You know what? I'll finish this tomorrow. Okay?
Tomorrow.
You're going to be here Friday.
I'll probably. Well, you know
You have
what?
to
The
be.
truth is, I think I may have a birthday party tonight.
Tomorrow
I don't know.
Friday, isn't it?
We'll
Finish it, Mohammed.
Okay, so no, there's so much more. I have about 10 minutes to do it, so I'm not going to be able to
Sure.
finish it. So we'll stop at this point and we'll continue next time.
You're gonna
Okay?
forget.
Yes, you call.
Okay. Bye bye.